Welcome to Asking for a Friend. I'm Jess O'Reilly, your friendly neighborhood sexologist, and this is where we start conversations and explore topics that are simply too hot for daytime television. Now, before we dive in, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and like, comment, share, of course, so your friends can learn all the juicy stuff too. Today's topic is a good one. This is a fun one, and sex should be fun, right? Sex shouldn't be performative. It is about having a good time, and what is more fun than sex toys? We're about to dive in. And here to talk sex toys, I have two fabulous guests. First, I have Lorraine Hewitt. You are an amazing burlesque dancer as well as a sex educator that I think I learned from you before I even got into this field.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here. And we have something just a little extra over here on my left, Tim Lagman, who spills the tea regularly.
All tea. I will spill it everywhere.
Oh dear. Okay, that's a promise. That's a promise. Okay, let's talk sex toys and first experiences. Do you remember your first experience with a sex toy?
I totally do. I don't think I could ever forget it because I was terrified to go buy my first sex toy because I was 17.
Okay.
And at the time, I was having fun with another person, but I wasn't having as much fun as I wanted to be having. I wasn't having like orgasms.
Okay.
And, tried different things. Mm-hmm. And the person I was with suggested that I go get myself a vibrator.
Okay.
And I did that.
What was it like going into the store back then? Because this wasn't like 2 years ago.
I was lucky enough to actually go into a store downtown that was like kind of progressive. So there wasn't like black sheets on the window or anything like that.
Okay.
It was kind of nice.
Okay.
But I was still so scared.
Okay.
And I didn't have any money. So my toy that I got was really cheap. It was jelly.
The sticky kind, right?
Yeah, exactly. Something I would warn people away from, nowadays.
That was my first toy too, also jelly. And I felt like I had, should I even share this? I had a bunch of cats. I'm not going to share the number, but I had some cats at the time, and it always felt like there was like a cat hair on the toy. You could never get it clean. Back then, there wasn't, this kind of high-end, high-quality, body-safe range of options.
The toys used to be marketed so poorly and designed, and made poorly, designed poorly. Like what we have now is light years ahead, and so amazing to see how far things have come.
So what about first use? Like, did it feel good? Did it work? Did you become orgasmic?
I did not right away.
Okay.
Actually, I thought it didn't work. Like, I was like, this isn't doing what it's supposed to do. You kind of just turn it on. I mean, this was me, inexperienced. Turn it on, stick it there. Why is the orgasm coming?
Put your hands up and be like, you do the work. Totally. I paid $30.
Yes,
you do the work.
Exactly. So I kind of put it away for a while.
Okay.
A few years later, I was with a different lover, and he asked if I had any toys. And I said, well, yeah, I've got this one, but it doesn't really work. He's like, oh, let me see. And all of a sudden, it worked.
Okay. We want to know more about what you think about sex toys. So Allysin Chaynes took to the streets to hear more from you.
I'm asking for a friend.
Okay.
Some questions about sex and sexuality. Catlin, do you own any sex toys?
Yes.
Do you own more than one sex toy?
No.
Okay. Would you be willing to divulge what that sex toy is?
Sure, just a butt plug.
Love it. Tori, do you own any sex toys?
I don't actually.
Do you own a sex toy?
Yes.
What do you have?
Vibrator?
Oh, I love it.
No. I do not.
No, I do not.
Sarah, do you own a sex toy?
Yes.
Do you own several?
2?
Do you have a fave?
3? Yeah, my vibrator.
I love that. Do you own multiple sex toys?
No, just one.
Can I ask what it is?
It's just a little vibrator.
A friend reco'd it, you went with someone, I got it as a gift, or like did you go and seek it out for yourself?
I got it as a gift.
That's a good gift. Do you own any sex toys?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, at least 4.
Do you have a favorite?
I like my wand. No, I'm 88.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not right now.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 18-inch double-sided dildo.
I'm obsessed.
The suction vibrating little guy.
My fleshlight.
Yeah, it's a vibrator, G-spot vibrator.
It's an awful name. It's called a womanizer.
Oh.
Yes.
Is it like a clit sucker?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like simulate oral sex. Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about that.
I think the egg that I have.
Do you own any toys?
My God, yes. Actually, I've been killing toys, so it's kind of. I bought this thing where it's like double-sided.
It was a gift. My friend said you have to try it, and like I didn't open it for 2 years, and I finally like just opened it. I'm like,
mine was actually a gift too. Like, shout out to our friends for looking out for us.
I love how many people are playing with toys, but also gifting toys. So what is the best toy you have ever been gifted or gifted?
So for me, I remember being gifted a penis pump,
Oh.
which is great.
Okay.
I just remember that now. It was a water pump so that it's safe for your penis, because a lot of penis pumps go with air,
Okay.
which could cause a lot of overstretching.
Okay.
Whereas water, it just stops at the limit.
Okay.
So it's safe. And the best gift I believe I've ever given was a remote control vibrator for a couple who's having an overseas long distance relationship. And I just stopped their divorce from happening because of that. So,
I mean, we're not going to boil it down to the vibrator, but the remote control
But it's all
vibrator
about
didn't
me.
work. Sorry, it was not the vibrator, it was Tim.
Yeah. I saved their marriage.
Marriages, one vibrator at a time.
time.
I mean, if you know me, you know I gift vibrators all the time, so I'll stay out of this one. What's the best gift you've ever received or given? Because I know you give out vibrators too.
Yes,
We're
I
in the same
definitely-
field.
Yeah, I've definitely given out lots of vibrators. I think the best sex toy I ever got though was actually a pair of baby pink wrist cuffs for bondage.
Okay.
And those were great. I used them for many years on me, on others, and you know, it just introduced like a whole new thing to me when I got those. So I loved it.
I love it. I think we used to be really private about sex toys, right? We would hide them away. You didn't want to like anyone to find them. There is so much shame attached to sex toys. Is that something you experienced, or you've had partners who have expressed shame?
Yes, as a recovering Catholic, yes. I would hide not just toys, but I would hide lube. Because I thought that was a little bit shameful, because
Right.
I thought that I shouldn't be a sexual being. I shouldn't give in to pleasure because I was brought up to think it was sinful.
Right.
But, you know, as time goes by, I just surrender to it.
Sorry,
I
look at you
became-
now. Because I just gotta say that Tim rolled up with a suitcase of
Of sex toys.
So you've dealt with that shame
Yeah.
and really overcome.
I was nervous, but I wasn't ashamed,
Okay.
thankfully. But I can remember feeling shame at one point from a partner who actually shamed me a little bit for needing the vibrator to orgasm, you know, during sex. And at that point, I was already, you know, in the middle of my like love affair with toys, and to have a partner say, you know, like this is wrong and this, we shouldn't include this, really threw me for a loop for a couple days. And then I said, okay, so we can have sex and I can have orgasms, and we can have sex and I can not have orgasms, and we can see how long that lasts.
Right.
And he got over it pretty quickly.
They came around.
As he should.
Sometimes I think there's pieces around like, oh, it ought to be natural in a certain way. We shouldn't have to add these accoutrements. I think there's notions of emasculation.
Right.
Or people feeling like they're not good enough. Like if you're using this toy, aren't I enough for you? But these are just enhancements, right? They're ideas to, and they broaden conversations. I find that the mere presence of a toy gets people talking about what they like, what they don't like, their boundaries, all of that. Now, so we've talked about some of the hesitations people have with regard to sex toys. What about the benefits? Like how did your sex life change, or how do you see other people's sex lives improve because of toys?
Well, it changed me so much because I started to really explore my body and, you know, what it could do for me, what I could do with it, how it responds to different kinds of things. And, you know, toys allowed me through periods when I was partnered or single to just really like have a love affair with myself. And become my own best lover.
I love that connection between using toys and just feeling more confident, more connected to your body. So how else have sex toys or furniture or bondage really helped you, either in your sex life or just with your overall sense of self?
Well, as a perfect example, I have one of my many lovers. He is
Brag.
overseas. And just, one of my scores of lovers. He's a Marine. So the only chance that we have to connect is through a remote control vibrator. So when he's like out at sea and then he finally gets to get some cell phone signal, he'll be like, hey, Tim, do you want to have a little bit of a quick session? I'm like, okay, and I'll be at the grocery store and have my remote control butt plug in there, and then just shopping for soup and chicken and.
I love chicken soup. I just really love vegan version of chicken soup.
I want more eggs. For me, it's a way to stay connected, and it just helps to know that he still thinks about me even when he's so far away. And I just feel like a little tiny princess when he gives me the best orgasm at the grocery store.
Yeah, they really inspire playfulness, and that playfulness is what keeps things exciting in a longer term relationship. So we've been talking sex toys, but people can also see that we are surrounded by sex toys. These were sent to us by TSC because they sell, of course, the best and the greatest. So if you had to pick a toy from this bunch for a newbie, somebody who's just starting out with sex toys, what would your pick be, Lorraine?
Well, I would pick this lovely Layla wand over here, actually.
Not because it was closest to you?
And not because it matches my outfit. But there's actually lots of other great things about it too. So this looks like it could be intimidating for a beginner, but in fact it is a really great option for a beginner. I mean, for one, you can use it all over the body, right? So if you just need to relax, take a little time with yourself, you can start to use it on your neck and shoulders, all over, having a more full body experience. Also, it's got this really nice broad head. So it means that the vibration, even though it'll be strong, is going to also be sort of diffused. And that's really great. A lot of times people go for really tiny vibrators right away. And sometimes they find that because they're so small and so focused, it's almost an irritating sensation for some people. So I think this might work better for a lot of different people. Any gender can use a wand, which I love as well.
I love this wand so much. Also, it's kind of beautiful.
It is.
And
it's
very
such a pretty design.
Silky smooth. All right, I see you reaching. Tim. Which is the toy you would pick?
What this is a prostate massager that also vibrates.
Okay.
And I picked this because I noticed that a lot of guys, when it comes to sex toys, if I put something up my butt, does that make me gay? Does that make me a girl? No.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I would love more gay men, right? No, but the great thing about this is that it's so perfectly designed to stimulate the prostate, because the anus has this natural sucking ability that it will massage it hands-free. All you have to do is just stick it up in there and let nature do the work for you. Or if you want to add a little bit of spice to it, you just turn on the vibrating function, and then it massages it for you with different vibrating patterns. Now, you might be looking at this and this hook over here. This will help stimulate the base of the spinal cord, and it gives you that nice tingly sensation that you go, and this one goes right into your perineum. So you're getting stimulation from 3 different ends, which gives probably one of the most amazing orgasms I've ever had without the use of man.
Okay, I'm reaching for my pick from the bunch. So this is the Womanizer Premium. You love this one, right?
It's so great.
I love it.
Anybody who's ever used this is a huge fan. And they are not a vibrator, and they are a clitoral stimulator, but the way it works is that it's indirect stimulation of the clitoris. So this area here fits around the head of the clitoris, and then it releases these tiny changes in air pressure. It's sort of like a wave-like motion, and it creates a sensation that I will describe as a cross between sucking, pressing and pulsing, and vibing, and it sort of feels like oral sex. And this one actually launched with an orgasm guarantee.
I will say that even if it is designed for clitorises, I have one. I use it for my nipples.
Yes, yes.
So you don't have to have a clitoris to enjoy the Womanizer.
Yeah, and clearly people love this one, right? You're talking about it on the streets, so the Womanizer is a popular brand. All right, we have a whole bunch of other toys here. We have a couple, so we talked about one for the prostate. We have another one for the penis there.
Yes, this one is the Tenga Masturbator. So how this works is you get rid of the base, and it's such a convenient base too because you can just leave it there to dry. You grab your toy, you get from the top, open it up, and then look at all these amazing beads, these balls.
Clamp it on?
And just lube it up, clamp it on, snap that penis shut like a fly trap. No, so you leave a lot of lube in there, and then once that's all lubed up and ready to go, insert the penis right there and add some pressure onto it because the sides are pressable.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sure. So we're gonna look at ones for clitorises. This is more than a clitoral toy, right?
Oh yeah, this one can also be inserted vaginally at the same time. So for folks who are looking for that dual experience, the sense of fullness in the vagina as well as clitoral stimulation, that's amazing. And because this is posable and because you can kind of put your thumb on this part and move it around, and it's got such a broad surface area, it is gonna fit a lot of people really well.
And most people tend to use this one in more of like a rocking motion.
Yes,
right?
Yeah,
So
that's why
more...
it's got that lovely bowed shape, right?
Yes.
So that you can press up against the front wall of the vagina with it. What's also awesome is that you can control where the vibration actually happens because there's two motors. There's one here and there's one here. And so sometimes you might actually not want the vibration internally, just on the clitoris, and you can control it so that it just gives you what you want.
So cool, such cool toys. Actually, I'm gonna show you another WeVibe toy. This is so novel. I think it flew off the shelves when WeVibe first came out with it. It's called the Moxie. It is a clitoral vibrator, but it can be worn in so many different ways, even if you don't have a clit. And you wear it inside your underwear, and then this tiny little magnet goes on the outside to hold it in place. So you can actually, and then it's held in place.
Oh my God.
Right? Yeah.
And it's so unobtrusive. I totally remember the old style remote vibes that were like a giant battery pack almost.
Yeah.
Steam powered.
I am a robot. Beep, blorp. And so this one also can be controlled remotely via the app. So this is a really fun one if you're going to a meeting or you're going to a party.
And it's so great. I mean, you can definitely use it for clitoral stimulation if it's more to the back, but you could also sort of turn it around so that the edge is more towards your butt and get some nice butt vibes too.
So this one is also for couples. This is the WeVibe Chorus. I think you've sold many of these over the years and gifted many of these.
Yes.
So this one is designed for penile vaginal intercourse. This small arm slides inside and the big arm stays on the outside. And then the idea is that you can insert a penis or the object of your choice down below. So this arm is very thin, so it's not taking up too much space in the vagina, but it is stimulating that G zone internally and the clitoris externally. Excellent. Okay, now you brought a toy. You have a anal dilator, or is it a butt
That's
plug?
correct. This is an anal dilator. So the problem with a lot of butt toys is that when they're sold in sets, they jump so far in diameter. So you got like a small, medium, and a large, and there's nothing in between. And what this does is that you shove it in your butt or gently push. And this key allows it to dilate at millimeters. So I'm going to turn it, and then if you can take a look, it's slowly increasing in girth. And then you can just go back down to your basic size.
Excellent.
It's great. I
Love
it.
this one. Okay, what have we not covered here? Oh, the WeVibe Pivot?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a penis ring, and it stretches.
Yeah, it looks small. People are always worried, but like I can put it on my wrist.
Yeah.
First I have to get it over my parents' engagement ring that I wear on my right hand. But, like I don't want to touch the silicone with it. It's a very sharp ring. I don't know what my dad was thinking.
But yeah, it's gonna fit, you know, a lot of different sizes, so no need to be concerned about that. And it vibrates. It can be used during penetration sex. It can be worn during a blowjob or during a hand job.
To speed things up.
And what's nice, I think, too, is that it has the ability to do pulses.
I love this one, and I can see the way it's vibrating in your hand.
It's like
what I love about this is it's a very low, rumbly toy, right? It's not like a high-pitched, buzzy sensation. It's very, very rumbly, and this is actually my partner's favorite toy.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, this is the one that kind
Nice
of,
and
I
quiet.
think, yeah, quiet, subtle, but it can be very, very powerful. And this is double-ended, hands-free vibrator. And so you can use this in so many different ways, and I think that's an important piece with all the toys. You don't have to use them.
They don't care what parts you have. They don't care about your gender.
They're not like, no, I'm for the clit. Yes. They don't care how you use it.
Yeah.
So this could be designed for two people to play with, but I love this one because it's flexible, right? It's bendable. And so if you have any issues with arthritis, any issues with reach, any issues with flexibility, it can be a really fun one to use. And you can use this one that's curved and bulbous, or you can switch it around for the straighter version if you prefer.
You get two different ends to explore. You also get some bunny ears, right? And these
perfect for clit targeting.
Yeah, absolutely. These have proven themselves to be beloved.
Apparently, yes. That was a big popular one. Oh, I love it. All right. And of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Tim, do you have something over there?
Yes,
it's more
look
like
right
sex
here.
furniture than sex toys. Tell us about it.
So when it comes to sex furniture, we think slings, we think handcuffs. This here, it's bed restraints.
Okay.
Yes. So what this does is that you put it under your mattress, and then over here are the wrist guards and the ankle guards, so that you can just pull it out from under your mattress and then start if you're into submission play, and then that's it. It just goes under the mattress, and then it's so discreet that if you have guests over, you just shove it in there. None will be the wiser.
Unless the type of guests you want to invite. That's a different thing. And what's the big one?
This is basically a portable sling.
Okay.
How this works is you put the pillow under here.
Okay.
You shoot your legs in these straps, allowing you to be in an open-legged position.
But those straps get a lot longer, right?
Yes, they are perfectly adjustable and they are soft in material.
Let me ask you, why would people want to use a sling like this?
So a lot of people have problems with keeping their legs up during penetration, and what this does is that it just lets it hang there for you and allows for easier access to your goodie bits.
Very good. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to sex furniture, right? There's a plethora of options out there. You can choose from stools and swings and benches and harnesses. Again, the world is your sex furniture oyster.
The fact that sex toys now are not confined to these like dark shops you have to be afraid to enter, really just makes them so much more available to people and takes away a lot of the stigma.
Absolutely, and opens new conversations, and that's what we're doing here. So I actually have some questions from folks out there if you're willing to help me out. Maria says, help, I'm addicted to my vibrator. What do I do?
Well, I would first of all say you're not addicted to a vibrator. You can't become addicted to a vibrator. What you may be finding is that you really like using your vibrator and that it works for you when you use it. You know, it is wonderful to have sexual variety though, right? So you can use different kinds of toys, you can masturbate in different ways, and you can play with partners in different ways. And it is great to always be building different pathways to pleasure.
I love the way you frame it as, well, it sounds like it works for you, and if something is working, you don't have to fix it. Okay, we have some more questions here. We have one from Dana. Dana wants to know, is my sex toy taking away from my opportunities to find a real penis/partner? I want a real penis/partner. All right, well, you have a lot of partners and a lot of toys, so tell me about this.
As someone who has so many sex toys and someone who has so many partners, it's not taking away at all. If anything, it just opens up your sexual experience to a plethora of experiences. Just because you have a sex toy doesn't mean that you no longer need that human part of sex, you know, the intimacy. Because a toy is not going to give you the intimacy that you need.
Or conversation,
exactly.
Or snuggles, or
the aftercare.
Make you a sandwich when you're hungry. Exactly.
Right?
And I mean, a toy actually, you know, for some people might raise their standards for a partner, because if you know that you can do a good job for yourself, you're gonna say, you know what, you gotta put in work.
Right?
Are you as good as this toy?
Okay, we have another question about introducing sex toys. So, Sam says, how do I introduce sex toys to my partner because I'm afraid it might offend her? I'd like to weigh in on this. So number one, talk about sex regularly, not only when you want to try something new or when there's a deficit. And then I have a super simple kind of 3-point model for introducing something new. And it may sound formulaic, but you kind of tweak it and make it your own. First, start with the positive, like, oh, I love the way it felt last night, or I love that thing we did on Saturday. Second, make space for them to share, like make an inquiry. So you might say like, oh, how did it feel for you? And then zip it and listen. Some of us have to work on that. And then 3, you make your request, right? You know, I saw this video on sex toys. How would you feel about that? So start with the positive, make an inquiry, and then make your request. We have a question from Karen as well. Karen says, I'm 24 years old. I live with my parents. A few days ago, they cleaned my room, lucky girl, and my vibrator has gone missing since. How do I talk to them about getting it back? I mean, isn't it only fair to take something of theirs that they really like and then do a tradesies? They're like, oh, where's my favorite pair of shoes?
Let me take your car.
Where's my double-ended dildo? What do you say to Karen?
I think if their parents are bold enough to take it, then you can say to them, you know, something went missing from my room, because they know what they did. You know, so the secret's out, right? It is no longer a question of, you know, do my parents know I have a vibrator? They know, and you can say, well, you know, that's mine, you know, it's not right for you to invade my privacy in this way, right? And
set those boundaries.
And clean your own room, Karen.
Yeah, I know.
Start cleaning your own room.
You're 24, girl.
Actually, no, I want Karen's parents to come and clean my room.
Clean everything for me.
I'll pay them in vibrator. Should we be sharing sex toys?
I believe that if we're sharing sex toys, at least use a condom on it, use some sort of barrier protection, or clean it as thoroughly as you possibly can. But I highly recommend everyone just get their own sex toy.
Oh, I've loved this conversation. Thank you so much for being here, Lorraine.
My pleasure.
Tim, you brought all the good vibes, and hopefully you learned a thing or two about all of the good vibes at your disposal if you are in the market. Check it out. Maybe it's time for you to bring some sex toys into the bedroom or into the laundry room or all the places that, I don't know, Tim suggested. Before you go, please make sure you subscribe, like, comment kindly, and share, because sharing is caring. Make sure you keep coming back for more, and until then, happy exploring. All right, we did it, right? All the good vibes. We got like the microphone one, the whole. Anytime I see these, I want to sing.